Hey, what's up everyone? Danny Lightning here. Today we're going to do a comparison between the Logitech c922 and the Logitech Brio. So, one of these cameras is the Brio, the other camera is the c922. You tell me which one of these looks better. Right now we've got this in very good lighting, and in a few minutes we're going to turn down the lights so we're in a dim, poorly lit room and see which one does better. And then we're even going to turn the bright lights way up and see how this does in extremely bright light, okay? I'm not going to tell you which cam is which till the end of the video. So as of right now, which one do you think looks better? The one on the left or the one on the right? Now, I will say this, the Brio is the strangest cam I've ever dealt with. Once I start turning off the automatic settings and trying to use manual settings, the Brio starts to look like a pile of trash. The white balance gets crazy, the exposure gets crazy. I've got to leave everything on auto, and I barely need to make any changes at all, except for on OBS Studio. I turned the gamma down to like -40 on the Brio, and it looks amazing. Okay, that's about all I did. I leave everything on the Brio on the stock settings, except for I put a filter on the camera on OBS Studio, -40 on the gamma. Everything else dead stock, no changes made except for that. Everything is on the automatic settings. I will say the Brio never has issues with autofocus. All right, the c922 has some pretty bad autofocus issues from time to time, where as you move around it constantly focuses and refocuses. Hopefully that didn't give away which camera is which. So as of right now, I think these look very, very comparable, but the c922, I've made changes on the Logitech G Hub program. I've made changes on the Logitech capture program, and I've had to make changes on OBS Studio to make these c922 look this good. All right, the c922 looks like trash without a lot of work. But if you have really good lighting and you make some changes on the right programs, you can make your c922 look very, very nice. All right, so let's test this out in low lighting, okay? Here we go with some low lighting. So right now I have turned off both of my 8-inch ring lights. All right, I have two 8-inch ring lights that fire directly onto my face. And a little bit behind me, I have two clip-on work lights, one to the left and one to the right. Both are pointing directly at the ceiling to help light the green screen behind me. But as you can see, one of these cameras is doing way, way better in low lighting than the other. One looks like trash, the other one looks kind of eh. All right, most of these webcams, they claim they do well in low light, but they really don't. They really don't. So you definitely need really, really good lighting for your webcam. So now we're going to try it out in some really, really bright light. We're going to turn the key lights up as high as possible and see how both of these respond to way too bright of lighting, okay? All right, so the key lights, one is washing out, blowing out the highlights like crazy. The other one is not. So one camera definitely responds way better to the lighting changes than the other. Like I said, the one camera is on the automatic settings. The other one, I had to make so many changes. Everything is on manual. But anyways, all I'm going to say is one responds to lighting changes much better. So now let's go to back to proper lighting. So now I have both of my key lights on, but they're on the very lowest settings. Both cameras look pretty decent. The lighting is dim, but it's not too terribly dim. It's just enough light for both cams to start performing pretty well. All right, so let's go ahead and crank these lights up just a little bit. All right, so that added a little bit extra light. I still think the camera on the left looks a little better. Next setting. Next setting. Next setting. So some people might like to have really bright lights on them, some may not. But they both look very, very nice. As long as you have proper lighting All right, these things look pretty good. These things look pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and put it back down to something like this is around how I like to have mine, right? We'll just go back to the lowest lighting. And there we go. All right, that looks pretty nice. Looks good. Looks good, right? Everything's nice and sharp on both cameras. Plenty of detail. I'm pretty happy with this. You know, I'm pretty happy with the way everything looks here. Both these cameras actually do a very, very good job as long as you have proper lighting and you get the settings right. So, you guys are probably wondering which one of these is which. Some of you might have figured it out by now. I'm not 100% sure, but all right, the Brio is the camera on the left. The camera on the right-hand side is the Logitech c922. Now, I just recently had a webcam die. I need 2 webcams for some of the things that I do for one of my YouTube channels. I gotta have 2 cams. And, well, unfortunately, one of my webcams just completely died, and the only thing I could find in stock that was brand new was a Brio. Kind of expensive. I make very little money, so spending the money on the Brio was pretty rough for me, okay? I'm going to put that on the credit card, and it's probably going to take me a few months to pay that one off because my income is very low right now. I got a bunch of muscle and nerve problems, and currently my only income are from my YouTube channels. And I make a okay amount, I guess. Not enough to really make a living. You know, I got a place to stay. Somebody lets me stay at their house, which is very, very cool. I don't have a lot of bills, so, you know, for now, I'm doing okay. But still, you know, buying a $200 webcam it hurt the old wallet, is what I'm going to say. And I'm a little disappointed that it doesn't look that much better. But the Brio on the left, I can definitely tell a difference. The Brio definitely looks better, but is it really that much better than the 922? As long as you have good lighting, okay? As long as you have good lighting, the 922 is almost as good. I mean, I can definitely see more definition and stuff on the Brio over on the right. It definitely looks a little bit sharper. It looks a little bit better. All right, let's go back down to some more. That's a more natural setting of lighting there. All right, more like this, a little more natural, I guess. There we go. That's where I usually keep my lighting. I can definitely tell the difference, but I think when I bought my C922, it was like a $40 webcam, $40, $50, something like that, versus a $200 webcam. You guys tell me. One last test. Look at this. Look at my water bottle, okay? When I move this around on the screen, one camera definitely handles certain things better than others. All right, well, let me turn off the green screen software here really quickly on both of these cameras. Okay, so I do notice that the saturation is way higher on the Brio, but if you look at something like my water bottle here, I mean, if you look at the text, you're going to see that the one on the left seems to have much sharper, all right, way sharper. It seems to handle like the lighting better. Now, the one on the left, even the colors, the blue looks almost identical to the blue on my bottle, to where if you look on the right side, the blue is a little bit washed out. Now, if I grab something that's orange, all right, well, the Brio has these colors almost down packed, except for I do have the saturation cranked up a little bit too high on the Brio. But if you look on the C922, the colors are washed out and crappy looking. Now, the Brio does do one really weird thing. Watch when I put something white. When I put something white into the screen, even if I turn off the auto white balance, watch how the color. I guess they're both doing it. Never mind. Both cameras are changing when I put something white into the screen. I didn't realize both cameras did that, but both cameras do that. and all the automatic settings are turned off on the C922. Everything is on manual, so I don't know why that's happening on the 922, but sometimes when you move things in and out of the screen, it does change the coloring. But overall, now if you take a good look at the microphone right now on the Brio on the left hand side, you can actually see a lot more detail on the screen for the microphone and stuff like that. So the Brio is definitely the better camera, guys. The Brio is definitely the better camera, but you get to see it in bright light, you get to see it in low light, you get to see it with and without the green screen. Both are just fine for your average person who's just trying to broadcast himself. If you want a real camera, all right, you're gonna have to go out and buy a DSLR and a video capture card. No webcam out there can compete with a real camera, all right? Unfortunately, a video capture card is somewhere between like $150 and $250 for a good one. A good camera with a clean HDMI output, which you absolutely need, all right? You're going to be spending around $600, $800, maybe over $1,000 just on the camera. So, for your average person, one of these, you know, $100 or $200 webcams is, well, this is the best you're going to get for, you know, somewhere in the $100 to $200 price range, guys. But I think they both look very, very nice. I could probably turn the saturation down on the Brio. Let's go ahead and do that, actually. Let's go to filters, color correction. Let's turn the saturation down to like -20. -20. That looks a lot more natural. I think I turned it down just a little bit too bit. Let's go with -10. -10 on the saturation. That actually looks a lot better and more natural. Or not as saturated. Alright. But you can definitely see one of these handles color is way better than the other. So the Brio is definitely a better camera. More detailed, cleaner, crisper. I would say there's really, besides the difference in it handling colors well though, as long as you have good lighting, both of these cameras are excellent. So I think that pretty much wraps this video up, and I will catch you guys later, alright? Lightning out, and thanks for watching. See ya!